Welcome to the Bestseller Secrets podcast, where experts and entrepreneurs learn how to use a best-selling book to make an income and an impact. I'm your host, Rob Kosberg, and today I'm going to give you 11 different ways that we teach our clients to use their book to get a massive return on investment. Now, the first thing, and perhaps warning, is we're not going to talk about using your book and making royalties. Will you sell your book and make royalties? Absolutely. But that's not the best way to get a return on investment with your book. I'm going to give you 11 ways, and they're all going to center around three primary things. This is what we call the profit phase of the book writing process. The profit phase focuses on using your book for lead generation, and there's 1,000 ways to do that. It focuses on using your book to get PR and media. When I wrote my first book back in 2008 and 9, I actually used it, ended up having my own radio show, and did very, very well giving away and selling the book on my radio show. And then lastly, using the book to generate speaking engagements. So I'm going to give you 11 ways. I'm going to go down a little bit deeper and specifically speak about ways to generate leads, get speaking, and do media and PR. So number one, the first thing that we suggest to our clients is to do what we call a Focus 90. A Focus 90 is where you take 90 days, and rather than thinking about all the various shiny objects that you can pursue when it comes to your book, that you focus 90 days on one of these 11 things that I'm going to talk about. So when you think about these 11 things and you find 1, 2, 3, 5 of them that you want to do, and actually I do all of them now, just know this, focus for 90 days on one of them, and then you can add number 2, number 3, number 4 down the road. Okay, so number one, the very first thing that we suggest to our clients is to use their book to generate referrals within their current business. How do you do that? You send a copy of your book or 2 or 3 copies of your book to your best clients, current clients, even past clients, and you send a copy of your book to all past prospects in the last 6 months. You could even go back a year if you like, of those prospects that did not become clients of yours. You're going to do that to re-engage with those prospects, remind them maybe they just drifted away and they found something else to focus their attention on. Now you're going to remind them, hey, look, we're still here. We're still the best in the business. And here's the best-selling book that I just wrote that will remind you of all the ways that we can serve you. We have a number of clients that have done this even more recently. One of our clients did over $60,000 in revenue in the first 30 days alone by simply sending copies of a book out to her current clients as well as her past clients, with a cover letter asking for referrals. That's the first thing that you need to do. So you want to, number 2, send copies of your book to get speaking engagements. Now, obviously, this assumes that you want to be a public speaker and do speaking engagements, but we have a process with a book that we call the TAP process. Number 1, T is for target. You need to make sure you know exactly what speaking engagements you're interested in. A is for assets. Obviously, your primary asset is using your book to frame that conversation with that event planner or meeting planner. And then P is process. This is something that you want to do on an ongoing basis. So if you find 50 or 100 potential opportunities, associations, private organizations, conferences, etc., then you want to start sending your books out to these places on a regular basis as part of a process. This is something that our clients have done. I think of one client in particular, Amy Dix, used this process and booked over 98 paid speaking engagements in less than 2 years. This is something that you can do as well to get speaking. Number 3, create a webinar and offer using your book. This is something that I've been doing for years. I use my book, Publish, Promote, Profit, and I teach on each of those 3 three aspects. There's a lot to teach, so I will break it down in a section. I'll teach on writing a book. I'll do an entire webinar on that, and then I'll make an offer at the end of that. Or I'll teach on launching your book to bestseller. I'll do the exact same thing. I'll teach for 60 minutes, sometimes as much as 90 minutes, and then make an offer thereafter. And I do the same thing with making a profit from the book. This is something that you can do. So if you have a great offer on the back end, then use the content from your book, create some type of presentation from it, and then make your offer at the end of that. That's number 3. Number 4, create a simple workbook from your book. We did this and did over $75,000 in revenue just selling the workbook. And all we did basically was use the content of the book and then ask questions and left people places to fill in the blanks so that they could gain some insight and actually go kind of step by step through it. Many people love workbooks. This gives you an opportunity to make some extra income without having to create an entirely new book from it. You're simply using your original book to create this workbook from it. Number 5, create a course or courses from your book. If people love your book, then they're going to love consuming that information in other ways. They're going to love consuming it on video. They're going to love consuming it on audio. So absolutely, you should have some type of course associated with your book. We have multiple courses. I teach PR and media in the book. And so we have a course on PR and media that I've sold for as much as $1,000. We obviously teach how to launch a book to bestseller, the exact same thing. Now, we have our done-for-you services, of course, where we do this for clients, but by having these courses, we earn additional revenue besides the actual sale of the book. Number 6, give away a chapter of the book or ebook as a lead magnet. Remember, we want to generate leads for the business, so you can actually create a simple ad that gives away a chapter or maybe some type of resource within the book. Or if you're bold, you can actually give away the entire ebook and then on the back end sell a physical copy of it or sell your course or whatever. This is something that you may not want to do right in the beginning, but down the road, after your book has been out for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, and maybe you have book 2, book 3, book 4 that's already come out, then use that book, that original book, or whichever book you're on, and give away and offer that book to generate leads by giving it away for free. Remember, Amazon is still selling it. Barnes & Noble may still be selling it. But if you own the rights and the royalties and the control of that book, you can do with it what you will. And if you give it away for free and generate leads because you're selling something on the back end, it's a great way to earn revenue. Number 7, compete with Amazon. Now, I mentioned this at least in passing on number 6. But look, you can create something that's called a free plus shipping funnel, which is what we do. So we sell the book on Amazon for between $14.95 and $19.95. This is the paperback version. But we offer it for free if people pay for shipping of $7.95. Now, why do we do this? It's very simple. Amazon keeps the customer. We get no customer data from Amazon, and the customer information and data is a lot more valuable than just the royalties that Amazon is paying. So if someone wants to buy the book on Amazon, hey, that's great. No problem with that. But I can compete against Amazon by offering the book on social media for a significant discount. And now I sell the book. I do sell it at a discount, but I sell the book and I get all that customer data. I am generating leads. Number 8, create a Facebook group or some type of social media group using the content of the book. And then in that group itself, you can sell the book or you can give away the book for their email address and additional information. We have a Facebook group associated with my book. We use that Facebook group to teach people, to warm up people, and then to offer our services and our programs. It does exceptionally well. Again, the book becomes a lead generator to bring people into the Facebook group itself. Number 9, create a podcast from the content of your book. Duh, that's exactly what we're doing, right? This is a solo podcast where I am teaching ideas and concepts from my book. If you've written an entire book, then guess what? You can actually speak that book in the form of a podcast. People will listen to it, they will learn from it, and they will be interested in getting more information and perhaps buying your courses and your services. Along the same kind of lines, number 10, create a YouTube channel from your book. In other words, do your podcast on video. You only need to do it one time. And now you have both a video for your YouTube channel and you have a podcast for Spotify, iTunes, etc. And oftentimes it's a completely different audience. So if you're going to do the content, then do it in a video form for YouTube and use that content for your podcast as well. And number 11, and finally, similar to a webinar, create a challenge or a workshop from your book's content. This is basically a long-form version of a webinar. A challenge is something that's over maybe 5 days, 7 days. I've seen them as long as 30 days. The very first time I did a challenge, we earned $450,000 in revenue. It was a 7-day challenge that we extended a couple of extra days, and all I did was teach the concepts of my book to a very large audience and then make an offer at the end of that challenge. I now do 2 workshops every single month that range between 2.5 and 4 hours long. Exact same thing. I make an offer at the end of that workshop, and those workshops often bring in as much as 6 figures simply because we're teaching, we're sharing, we're giving great information, and then we're saying, would you like us to do this for you? Here's a special offer for Bestseller Publishing's services. So there are your 11 different ways to use your book to make a massive income and impact on the world. If you'd like some more information, you can certainly go to publishpromoteprofit.com and you can get a copy of my free book where you're going to get it from me at a discount plus bonuses instead of getting it from Amazon.